Blending minimalist art house cinema of the 1970s with horror, Alien, directed by Ridley Scott, redefined the sci-fi genre and introduced us to that now infamous being with acidified blood coursing through its veins and a penchant for chomping on the crew of the Nostromo. But Alien presented some questions that were actually never answered in the franchise, such as what was the space jockey? Why had the ship crashed on LV-426? And why were there so many eggs with facehuggers sleeping within them? All these questions were something that Ridley Scott has basically admitted very much frustrated him over the past 30 years, and he wanted to seek to try to answer some of them. Now, Prometheus, the film that's been released this year, seeks to answer some of those questions, but it also raises the question, is it a prequel? Isn't it a prequel? If it isn't a prequel, what the hell is it? If it is an Alien prequel, where are the aliens? All these questions I'll hopefully answer in my review, which is coming up right about now. It is 100% an Alien prequel. Predating the events, in fact, of Alien, two scientists discover ancient drawings which refer to the presence of giants, or titans if you will, on Earth, pointing towards a star system in the presence of humans on Earth. So, with this knowledge, they decide to travel to said star system under the funding of the Wayland Corporation, for all you alien aficionados out there, and they go to seek answers to some very existential questions about why we're here and who we are. That's all I'm going to say about the plot, but suffice to say, in terms of plot, it's a simple one, in the same way that Alien was a simple plot. I'm fed up of reviewers saying it had some complex narrative. It didn't. Alien was a simple tale of people being hunted down by a malevolent force of evil, and that's all it was. Whereas Blade Runner in 1982 was a film that had, yes, again, a relatively simple plot, but it was layered in existential questions about what it is that makes us human. Now, in much the same way that Prometheus answers these questions, it also fails in answering some of them. Now, this is the same as Blade Runner. Blade Runner is my favourite film of all time, as you know, if people read the site. But yes, it does fail in some respects, Blade Runner, as does Prometheus. But that is not to the disservice of the film. The film itself tries to answer who we are, why we're here, what is creation, who defines creation. Is it some accidental coincidence, or is it a part of an intelligent design? Prometheus tried to answer these questions, and yes, it's going to fail in some of them, but for most parts it really does succeed. Now, it helps that Prometheus is backed up by a tremendous cast, including Naomi Rapace in a great central role, essentially playing a proto-Ripley, if you will, from the Alien films. We see her character go over a fantastic arc throughout the film, as do we see others, including Michael Fassbender's android David. Fassbender, this guy is a terrific actor, and everything he seems to touch turns to gold, and an incredible performance in this film, layered with nuance. We're not really sure of his intentions for the duration of the movie until it is finally revealed, and it's a fantastic arc. And we've got great supporting. We've got a great supporting cast in there with the likes of Idris Elba, Charlize Theron, and Guy Pearce in a relatively brief appearance. But they back up what is essentially a simple tale with huge questions at its heart, and it really is a rollicking ride. Okay, guys, so I've been pretty vague about plot up to now, but you should go in here with the most minimal amount of exposure. Don't watch trailers. Try not to watch trailers. Try not to watch promotional material if you can. By all means, do watch the Alien films 1 through, let's say 3, because 4 is crap. But yeah, soak up the atmosphere of Alien before you go to see it, and you'll enjoy it a lot more for that. Other things I loved about the film is the return of the art and set design by H.R. Geiger is phenomenal. It's awe-inspiring. It fills you with the same sense of wonder that you had when you first stumbled across that derelict ship in Alien. And I find that a great credit to Scott, that he still manages to fill you with that sense of awe and wonder, even 30 years after seeing the original Alien film. That being said, there were problems that I had with the film, including some set pieces. I felt that you watch it and think, well, if that guy had any common sense in this situation, he would have done this. Even if they were paralysed by fear, they still would have done something different than what they did. So I think that was a negative. I feel that there were some plot holes. Not that not that I'm referring to the questions that were left unanswered. That was intentional. But there were some sort of plot contrivances I didn't enjoy. It just didn't make sense in my mind. But all in all, I've got to admit, Blade Runner and Alien have their problems. But parts of Blade Runner are inconsistent, but people seem to forget that because it's a cult classic. But Prometheus suffers from the same problems because it's the same director, essentially. But saying that, Prometheus, unlike Alien, tries to answer some of those existential questions, and I really, really enjoyed it for that. It's the sort of film that will be debated for a very long time, or at least until the inevitable sequel comes out. But I feel that I want to learn more about the story. I'm engaged in the character of Naomi Rapace, and I want to learn more about the engineers and their purpose, and I feel that Scott has done a great job with that. So what would I give it as a score? Well, before I do, actually, just for those of you listening, I will be publishing another video on it's a spoiler discussion, so it's full of spoilers, but it's my discussion on what my feelings were about some of the messages in the film, my ideas for sequels, and what was the purpose, of the engineers. So I'll try and give you one or two theories on that. But anyway, check that out. That'll be up in the next day or so. But anyway, score out of 5. Well, regardless of its faults, I love this film to bits, and I think I will do up on a second and a third viewing. So on that basis, I don't really care. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5. So in the meantime, guys, check out my blog, or likewise subscribe to my YouTube channel. Remember, I will be putting up a discussion about the ending of Prometheus as well as some of the themes in the film, so it will be a spoiler discussion, but just leaves me to say, take care and have a good week.